check on that later, or give me a few seconds. Let me see if I can get the other mic. But I don't know what's going on with this mic. I hope you guys are doing great today. And how was your weekend? Well, I'll sort this out later. I would see what's going on with the mic. I don't know what's going on with it. I hope you guys are doing great. So, we are going to be continuing with the classes that we had last week. We started with the Canva classes, how to use Canva. We are going to continue with the classes today. This is the episode 2 of how to use Canva and episode 6 of learning how to do a number of things. I do believe that we're getting to a point where we need to start developing skills, particularly AI skills on some of the things that we do. And I believe it might just be helpful for us in future. The good thing about these tools is the tools that we use, or the different AI tools, is that they are easy to use. And once we continue to use them on a regular basis, we get really used to them and we are able to use them even way better. Okay, so call me Mo. I am a business owner. I also share content relating to business, finance, and general money tips through literature, arts, and music on this YouTube channel. And I also have this channel across other social media platforms. If this is your first time here, you are welcome. If you are returning, thank you so much. And most importantly, I hope you are learning one or two things. If you feel so inclined to reach out to me, you can reach out to me via email at reachout@litavision.com. You could also follow the link on my bio to access some of my resources on different platforms. I do have digital products on Etsy and other digital and musical products on different platforms. I have all my, well, a majority of my products, I mean my digital products now, on linked to my bio here on YouTube. So you can feel free to just click on those links, check them out. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And also, if you just want to be a part of this community, be a part of it, leave a message on the videos. If you have questions, leave questions. But basically, here we learn how to make money, how to keep money, how to save it, and how to do a lot of things. That's what we do really here. Well, sometimes we do other things as well. But feel free, always check out our live event. Thank you so much to everyone who's joining or who's joined. Let me know where you're joining from. Leave your comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Now, we are going to continue with the classes on how to use Canva. I know that Canva is become a household name for a lot of people, but the truth is a number of us still do not know how to use it. Some might know, but sometimes we are too busy to get to using Canva, quite because we might have so many things to do and we tend to outsource our obligations, which is perfectly okay. I'm the firm believer of the fact that if you can't do something yourself, outsource it. So, but if you have the time and you really want to learn how to use Canva, this is a second class. Canva is very easy to use, particularly if you're starting out as a business owner or you have a side also. You can use Canva to create additional source of income for yourselves and just make something fantastic, out of Canva. Canva has is well, first of all, it's an editing tool, but also provides you with needed resources in terms of templates and everything that you need to create all those beautiful pieces. Before I get into the video, I have to say that these live events is not any sort of sponsorship or any sort of advertisement for Canva. It's just my own way of teaching basic skills that some of us might not have at the moment, and also let us see how easy it is to use some of these tools. So Canva is not going to be the only tool I'm going to be teaching. I'm going to be teaching other AI tools, in the coming weeks. But this is not intended for for advertisement purpose. It's only for educational purpose. So I have to put that disclaimer out there. It is only for educational purpose and not advertisement. So let's just get right into Canva and see how we navigate Canva. Canva is pretty easy. I like the fact that it is a pretty simple tool and you can design so many things using Canva. You could decide to design your online courses using Canva. You could decide to design your templates. You can design your shirts. You can design your hats. You can design your artworks. You can design a lot of things on Canva. Those projects I did mention last week that Canva comes in different it comes in different plans. You can have the free plan that allows you to use the basic features of Canva. However, if you want to really have something distinct, particularly with the regards to the kind of say products or things that you want to create, it is advisable for you to have the pro version. And if you have maybe a team of 5, 6, 7 people, you could decide to get the team version. Or if you are an enterprise or a bigger business, you can get the enterprise version. Largely, the paid version offers you more features that you could use to do those or create those really unique designs and also those details that you need. So if you are new here, you guys are welcome. If you are returning, thank you so very much. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave your questions in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. This class is to run for 30 minutes. I'm already 6 minutes out. So I have just 24 minutes left with you today. We would continue on Monday. Now, what are we going to be designing today? So last week I took you on how to go through all the features and all the apps on Canva, and maybe I'll just do a quick recap for the benefit of those who weren't here last week. So just basically, you have on the left hand side of your Canva, let me just go to home. You find everything here. For the less for the, let me go back to it. It's easier when you have a project. You'll be able to see it on a project. So on the left hand side, you see templates. You have elements. Elements allow you to be able to create those distinct designs. Elements gives you varying things from animated items to real photos and to some other things that you could use to create those distinct designs. So if you want to create any design, or perhaps you want to create a logo, go to elements. You'll be able to find some of the things that you need. For instance, let me just type in a lion, for instance. You want to create a logo that is a lion, you're going to see a lot of, images. You have the graphics, you have photos, you have videos that would show you a lion. And then you also have the text icon that allows you to be able to customize your text however you want. You have the brand, that is if you are building a brand for yourself, you want to create a number of things, logos, colors, fonts, and you just want to create something distinct for your brand. You have the brand icon that will allow you create all those things easily. You also have uploads. These allow you to bring in, import, what's it called now, content into Canva. So if you do not have, if you want to use something really unique to yourself or unique for yourself, this allows you to bring in those contents. That's what import does. Then there are several other tools. These tools allow you to be able to create those unique things in terms of the text you want to use, the color, and a number of things. And your project folder contains all the projects that you have done on Canva. Hello, Sina. I see you, Sina. Thank you so much for being here. So the project, if you have any questions, leave your questions in the comment. The project folder allows you to save all of your projects. That's where you find all of the projects that you have created. And then you also have apps. Apps open you up to in-house apps on Canva. So there's some functions that the main Canva doesn't have, but you have access to apps that sometimes offer you free tools, maybe on a daily basis. Other times, when you have exhausted the free units they've given to you or the free coins they've given to you, you have to probably upgrade or buy. But those apps open you up to an array of different apps that you could use for your work. So if you are not so sure of certain things you want to do, or you need something to do, and you need an app, just go into the app version. Let me just click on the apps. And then you see a lot of apps. Say, for instance, let's say I need an app that can help me change, let's say, cartoon now. I'll just say a cartoon app that I want something that can create cartoons. You see varying cartoon apps on there. You just have those apps that will help you with the editing process. Again, Canva is an... Oh, C9 Iron. Hi, see you. How are you? Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, leave your questions in the comment. Thank you so much. And so the thing about the Canva app is that Canva is an editing tool. So you have access to varying apps and varying things that can help you with editing. Hello, Sina. This is our live classes. this is how we teach and how to use the Canva tool. So if you're that person who wants to learn something on how to use Canva, so this is what the class is all about. And if you have questions, feel free to leave your questions in the comments. So you have a app, then you have Magic Media. Magic Media is like an AI tool that helps you create. It's a generative AI in-house, in Canva inbuilt generative AI tool that helps you create images, graphics, and videos. All you need to do is to enter the prompts that you want to enter in here. Select a style, the shape, whether you want square or any other shape, and then you generate. Oh, thank you, Sina. Thank you, Sina. Thank you. And then you also have the audio. Now, audio gives you an array of audio tools or audio content that you can add to your product. I have to mention at this point that the Canva platform offers a lot of products, but you also want to be sure that you aren't using you are using those products or those tools and the content on Canva in accordance with their terms. You can't use certain contents for commercial purposes. You can't. So you have to be sure that when you are creating some of your products, they do not conflict with the Canva terms. And then we have background. Background allows you to change the background or whatever image that you are doing. But I also usually would say that those things can also be found in Elements. So Elements offers uniqueness to what you are looking for. And then we have AI voice. If you do not want to use your voice for those things that you want to create, you can create voices using these AI tools. They are characters and the kind of voice that they have. You can play to listen and then make a choice. And then you have captions. Captions will help you with translations. So for instance, you want to have people, you want people to be able to read what you are saying whilst they are watching your videos or whatsoever content you have created. Then the caption comes in at that point. And then you also have what else? So like I did say last week, when you open your apps, after the captions, you have all the apps that you have signed up to listed after the captions. At least that is it. That is what I experienced in my own case. So your apps that you have signed up to, that you have chosen to use, would be after the caption icon on your Canva dashboard. I think that's basically what you want to know about tools. Now, what are we going to do today? I'm going to just do something, a simple design. Say, let's see how we can create a thumbnail, for instance, a YouTube thumbnail. People create thumbnails all the time, and I'm going to show us how to just create something simple in Canva and how easy it is to create. So, for instance, you want to make a YouTube video, or you want to create like a poster. A thumbnail is more like a poster, or you want to create a poster. So what I'm going to teach today is going to be sufficient for making a YouTube thumbnail or a poster. All you just need to understand is that dimensions differ. So if you are using a thumbnail, if you are creating a YouTube thumbnail, there's a particular dimension that you need to have so that thumbnail can fit perfectly on your YouTube. And if you're creating a community post, you want to have the right dimensions as well. You don't want something that is too large for the post dimensions. So, but what I'm going to create is something that you can generalize and then repurpose on the platforms that you want to, create them in. So let's go to another. So I'd say let's create a thumbnail. I'll just type that in. Okay, so let's go back home. I'll go back home and then we will do let's say create. Now, like I said, YouTube has fantastic I say YouTube, Canva has fantastic tools that allow you to just go through templates and then create whatever you want to create at once. Now I have a YouTube template here that I will just click on because I want to create it a YouTube thumbnail template. Now this is the thumbnail template. You have to note that again I'm making this, and you can always generalize the content of the thumbnail for other posters. But it's also very important that you understand dimensions, measurements. So for me, what I usually would do is when I want to create a particular poster and I'm not so sure of the measurement of that poster, I just go on Google or I go on ChatGPT and I type in, or what are the dimensions for so poster, and I get the information. So I take that information, I put it in Canva, and I'm able to create what I want to create. So you want to be sure that you understand dimensions for those posters you want to create, and it's pretty easy. So like I said, for us making thumbnails, for instance, thumbnails are pretty easy to do. And because Canva has the templates, and Canva keeps updating its app all the time, so there's always something new for you to be able to, create those beautiful pieces. Now I have the thumbnail, blank space for the thumbnail here, and on the left hand side I have other templates of thumbnails that have been created by other creators. Now, some of these creators are paid. Some of the thumbnails here have paid versions, while some are free. So I did say something about you having a free version of Canva. So if you do not have the paid version, it doesn't stop you from being able to still use Canva. That would largely depend on your level of creativity, because some people can just create from scratch. So it helps you to create from scratch if you don't mind creating from scratch. However, the paid version allows you to be able to explore other features that will actually make your work easier. So let's assume that we are using the free version of Canva, and I want to make it templates. All I just need to do is look at templates of thumbnails here, and I've seen free templates that I can use for my thumbnail. So this is a free template. It's not, it doesn't require me to pay for anything. It's free, and I can decide to edit it the way I want to. So how do you edit? All you need to do is to click on the elements on the template you have put on, and the moment you find out that the elements are clickable, once the elements are clickable, you know that they can change. And the truth is, there's absolutely nothing you can change on your elements. It all depends on, your wants and how you want to create these designs. So for instance, you see these already made Canva template that says trumpet tutorials, and it's a free template. So if I want to modify this to suit what I want to do, so for instance, say I want to say plush toys tutorials. Let's just say plush toys tutorials, for instance, and I want to use this as the cover page or the thumbnail of my YouTube video. So I'll show you how I'm going to edit this easily in Canva and how I can make it into what I want to make it. I'm going to be changing the background. I'm going to be changing some elements on there, and I'm going to show you how I would easily do that. So like I said, it's pretty easy to do, and the more you continue to do it, the more you enjoy, and the more you can also be innovative about it. It's about creativity. Creativity is highly innovative. So the more you become more innovative about it. So let me now amend this thumbnail. It's a template I got from Canva, so I'm going to change it into something that I want to do. So I'm saying I'm going to be teaching you plush toys tutorials. So this is what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, to remove this, I click on this, I can delete this. I can go on into my elements on Canva. I'd say plush toys. Let's see, plush toys, and I'll try to see the options that come out. So I see all the options that is available for me here. I'm looking at whether to choose something that looks really real, or I should choose graphics. So I'm just going to look at the options that I have. Should I choose animation? Should I choose photos? Let's see if I'm going to choose photos. Let me go back again and just do plush toys, and I'll do photos. Let's see if I can do photos. So I click on the photos and I see well, this happens to be a labubu. So I'm just going to say, let me, for instance, do a plush toys tutorial. A plush toy tutorial. So I'm changing this. So what do I want to do? I want to change the background. Now, for you to remove the background of a particular image, you have to have a paid version of Canva. So I'm going to remove the background of this. I'll go onto background remover up here, click, and then the background is removed. The reason I remove the background is I want my image to blend properly. I'm still going to change. I can decide not to use this toy. I can look for something that a lot of us probably are used to. I like this cute card. Let's see this. Maybe this would work. Now let's remove the background as well. I'm going to remove the background of this and just have the kitten just being there. And so I also like the way this is. I might decide to change the background as well. Let's see if we could change it something like not brown. Let me see a more daring color. Let's go to the color palette. All you need to do is to click on the color palette up, and then that shows on the side. Let me do something like beige. Remove some of the elements I have here. I still have an element on here. So it's pretty easy to use Canva. I'm not sure if I want this. Again, it's whole preference. So you can change the background. Let's change the background of this to something better. So let me say I'm going to be changing this to the forest. Let's say grassland. I'm doing grassland images, and so I have a grassland image here. Let me see something that I like. Okay, let me just do something simple. I can choose to make this the background of the image. So I have replaced the background. I still have my little curb on here. Do I want to make my little curb look really good and more pronounced? Yes. So what do I want to do in that instance? I may want to edit that image. So I want to edit that image to make, my little kitten look better. So I go on to the edit image icon, and I want to add some shadows to make it more defined. So I put a glow on there. What do I want to do with the glow? I want to make it more defined. So I'm going to just size it up. Do I want it to be smaller? What color am I using? So do I want the shadow to be more pronounced? I think so. And then what's the blow amount? I might have to reduce that a bit. And then the size. So you can see that this is more pronounced. It looks more pronounced, better than just the others, say the first photo. So I've made it more pronounced. It looks like something that is sitting in the grass comfortably. And then I can decide to also remove the other elements. I don't want these elements. I can remove these elements as well. You delete. So how to remove the elements? You want to click on the elements and then delete it. Now for the labeling or the naming, these are just text. You could always change the fonts that you want to change, like the one I did show you here a few days ago, sometime last week. So I have trumpet tutorials. That was the template I chose before I was able to convert that template into what I wanted. So what am I doing here? I want to name these thumbnails, say kitten tutorial. So kitten tutorial, I can just change this to kitten tutorials. So I'll just leave the tutorials the way they are, the way it is. I can also decide to change the color, or I can decide to place this in a way that it's properly arranged, and I leave that. If you really care about branding, you could always include your logo or your name. Particularly, for instance, you have let's say for instance you have your company name or you have your channel name. You can always put that up here so that your designs are not stolen. And then you can always add more elements depending on your preferences. You could always add probably a subscription button on the you can always add a subscription button on your thumbnail. And then what else? Just you can design it howsoever you want. The most important thing is that you want to ensure that this looks as good as you want it to look, and it also conveys the message that you want it to convey. Another thing is you can decide to change the colors. I like to use a lot of neutral colors. Neutral colors are easy to use. They easily marry with heavy other colors. So if you're looking for a safe color palette, I'd say the best easiest colors to start with are neutral colors, and then you can begin to add the other colors. Well, again, it depends on the level of your creativity and how you want your whatever thing you're creating to look like. So say I like the way this is, but for instance, you want to change the color of this, you can decide to change it into something different. You can change into green or blue, but you see it doesn't look it doesn't really look good. So I'm giving it back to my yellow, and then I'm leaving this at white. You can decide to choose to change this to black, and then you can always add an effect to it. Already this has an effect. I'm going to change it back to white, and you can see the effect allows you to be able to add more effects. Now this is, it has a hollow effect on it currently. I can decide to change into an outline effect and then change the color of this, or I change it into a shadow effect or a lift effect, or not even have an effect whatsoever, but I'm going to change it back to hollow, and these are the effects that you have. So Canva is pretty easy to use. Like I said, depending on what you want to create, the tools are available for you to use, and the fact that they are templates that you can adjust easily, they don't cost you too much time, unless of course you have your hands really full. And sometimes even me, I have to bulk do my create my designs in bulk because I'm busy. But again, Canva allows you to be able to use these tools as quickly as you want, as early as you want, and it's easy for you to always use. And you don't have to stress yourself about learning basics. You can just play around it, and then you would get to know how to use it. It's that easy. And so once you are done with your thumbnail, it's important that you name it. I have a name called Kitten. I can decide to name it my kitten tutorial thumbnail. So I can decide to name it my kitten tutorial thumbnail, and then I want to download. All you need to do is to share. When you share, click on download icon here, and then you download. You can use it for the designs that you want to use. Don't forget that this one was created for as a YouTube thumbnail, so you can design and you can download it and use it for the designs. Another thing you can also do is to repurpose. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions, leave your questions in the comment. Another thing you can do is to repurpose your designs. Now, because we made a thumbnail, doesn't mean that we can convert this same image into something smaller. I did mention earlier that it all boils down to you understanding dimensions. So if you wanted this one to be smaller than what it is, now understand the dimensions of what you want to put it into. So probably you want to make something really small, photographs, know the dimensions you want to use. And when you know the dimensions, just go on Canva, click on the plus button. You can say customize your dimensions. You put in your width and your height, either in pixels, in inches, in millimeters, or in centimeters. You have all of those options here. So if you are using this in inches, you put it in there, and then if it's millimeter, centimeter, or pixel, you put it in there, and then Canva creates a separate page for you to be able to now add that design into it. So for instance, let's say I'm doing something by 1,000 by 1,000 in inches. So I'll just put a 1,000 here by 1,000 in inches, in pixels rather. Let me do that in pixels. I have to start again because when you want to do this, you can't. So you can just add all of that. So in pixels, I'll have say so let's say we're doing something like 450 by 1,000. So let's say that's a unique dimension you want to use, 450 by 1,000. I click on that, you would see that Canva would give me something like this. So this is more or less like a long pamphlet. So if I now said, okay, I want to repurpose that design I made earlier, I'll go back to my project, look at the latest design that I made. Where is it? Folders. I'm looking for it. Or I go to my kitten and I go onto this page, and let me try to import this. So I'll close this up. Let me close this up. I'll close the kitten up. Just going to quickly do that. I'm almost out of time. So I'm going to search kitten, not images, designs. Thumbnail. Okay, so this is my kitten thumbnail that I just made. So I want to just import it to this new design. You see? So how is it going to work? I'm now going to just give it some adjustments here. I might have to delete some things here. I have my tutorials, and then again I can now decide to add more stuffs here. I can decide to add more stuffs here, probably my logo, my business information. You're just doing a small pamphlet. So again, like I said, understanding dimensions is very important. Once you create one design, you can always repurpose those designs in different types of designs. Just understand dimensions, and it's easy to get information on dimensions. If you're not so sure, go online. If you are trying to get the dimensions for a t-shirt, go online, get the dimensions for the prints, put it on Canva, you get it done. I think this is where I'm going to stop today. To everyone who did join, I want to say thank you so much for joining. Again, you can always check out my resources here on YouTube and across all our social media platforms. If you feel so inclined to send me an email, feel free to send at reachout@litavision.com. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. If you want to check out some of my resources and some of my digital products online, can always check it. I have them linked to my bio on here, and I share business related content, money content, how we can sit down, make money, and also learn one or two new things. Our Learn How To classes will continue next week. It holds on Mondays by 1 p.m. For at least 30 minutes. So we could finish before 40 minutes. We could finish at exact 30 minutes or even longer, but we learn how to make new things. So next week we will be learning how to make shirts, how to print shirts, how to make shirts on prints or prints on shirts. We're not going to be printing out via these live events. We're only going to be learning how to make the prints. We're going to learn the dimensions, how to create it, and the prints that we're going to be creating is also going to be useful for any other kind of clothing that you want to print on. So if you've been looking at someone making designs and you're like, oh, I like these designs, how do they make it? You're going to learn how to do that next week. And I'm also going to see how we can repurpose those designs on other products, say for like other probably utensils, other sorts of clothing and accessories. I will show you how to do all of that. I want to say thank you again to everyone who did join. I hope that you guys will have a fantastic day today. Feel free to join the Learn How To classes next week, Monday. We will be learning how to make prints on shirts and other items. Feel free to check out my resources and some of our videos if you feel so inclined. Feel free to check out some of our products as well. I mean the Lita Vision products now on our link is on the bio. Thank you so much for being a part of these classes, and we would continue next week. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye bye.